5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live to disc from the Pittsboro Roadhouse in Pittsboro, North Carolina, the Music Loft presents the Tokyo Rosenthal program.
David said the South's not deep. Should he know it's in his court? I must disagree. My back gave out in Shreveport. The plant got taken in by neighbors behind the door. I guess you weren't home. My back gave out in Shreveport. There's two sides to every story. Our tale's not unique this way. You can look, it's in the book we played. Let them stare anywhere, any place, any race. Shoeless Joe, he didn't show up at all. Guns on the stage, they at the page. Left in a haze. Finally got to sing my song in Baton Rouge and Lafayette too, where they had the most distress. They played from black to blue. Auburn brought us some reserve, the best stop on the tour. A wild man at Church of Floor. My back gave out in Shreveport. David said the South's not deep. He should know it's in his court. I still disagree. My back gave out in Shreveport. My back gave out in Shreveport. My back gave out in Shreveport. Thank you all very much. Well, thank you. And a cordial welcome to the Tokyo Rosenthal program. I am Tokyo Rosenthal, and it's great to have you here on this 4th of July weekend, right? Everybody happy to be out here celebrating the nation's holiday. So thank you very much for coming on out here tonight. My back did give out in Shreveport. That's a true story. You know, we go out and do these tours, and the hardest part about going out on tour, did 100 dates last year, is staying healthy. And when the back goes out, Well, let's put it this way. I could keep ibuprofen in business here. I don't know if all of you, anybody out there have a bad back? Little audience survey time. We do this every week. There's 5,000 people out there for you fans on radio, and let's see how many hands. Nobody has a bad back? Oh, there we got a couple. Okay, right, okay. Well, so I feel for you, and hopefully you feel for me too. So that's just the way it is. We got a lot of letters from people still wanting to know how they can get tickets to watch us do this show live here at the Pittsboro Roadhouse. And there's several different ways. You can go down to the Music Loft in Carborough. They'll give you some. You can come right here to the Pittsboro Roadhouse. You don't even have to buy anything or eat anything, but I would suggest you do. And they'll give you some free tickets. You can write to me online and any place else. A couple of scalpers I saw outside tonight. They're selling tickets to get in here. So do whatever you want. It's your life. Figure it out from there. So people also, let me remind you, for your free gift, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of this. If you've seen the Tokyo Rosenthal program on YouTube, if you listen to us on radio, go on into the Music Loft, mention the Tokyo Rosenthal program, and get a free gift. I've had the opportunity to tour Ireland a couple of times, but the first time I went over there, I went to visit my aunt and uncle who were living there in exile, and buy me a drink after the show and I'll tell you why they were there in exile. That's a whole different story. It's a special for a different night, but got to visit them. They had a little house there on the Shannon River. They always said that was their happiest time of their life, was living over there. I don't know how many of you had an opportunity to go to Ireland, but it is a very cool country and a nice place to visit and take a holiday in, especially if you like beer, too. They're kind of known for that a little bit. So anyway, it led to this song on my third album, the Ghost album, called House on the River. With a sword in hand, went to another land. It was gonna be a long winter at the house on the river. Bridie made the bread, Morgan shook his head. There was no one left to deliver at the house on the river. Smell the peat, still seemed incomplete. Feeling like home, yet feeling all alone. See the tinkers on the road, horse-drawn echoes. You had a life to consider at the house on the river. First you had to leave, then you had to grieve. Wrote your own script, design your final exit. That was 20 years ago. Now fly to that meadow, see JR and the boys I can picture at the house on the river. See JR and the boys I can picture, and you at the house on the river. Whoa. Thank you very much. They eventually did come back to this country, my aunt and uncle, and have since passed on, but got to have this great song. And speaking of passing on, not to have a death theme here tonight, but everybody always remembers when they heard their first Grateful Dead song. Am I right? Yeah. And who turned them on to the Dead? 'Cause, we've been around forever on that. And I had this buddy, his name was Freddie. And I remember when the first time he played me the Grateful Dead. And then Freddie had an untimely passing about a year ago. And I was playing New York at the time, which is where he and I were from, and played this next tune sort of as a dedication to him. And it just never left the song list. And I had the opportunity tonight, because we have this incredible group here to join us, the String Beings. And of course, I was supposed to mention them about 10 minutes ago, but you know, that's radio. So, and so I figured I'll take advantage of having the String Beings come up here. You know, to get a little bit of overtime for this, though, you know, but and have them sit in with me on this Grateful Dead tune dedicated to my buddy Freddie, and goes something like in the neighborhood of G. You guys know G, right? Oh. As Ace and T-Bone taught me last week, that's after F. Right? After F, right.
Yes, sir.
Out from Reno, I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get much sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but it'll take my time. The friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I came home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Well, I ran down to the levee, but the devil, it caught me there. Took my $20 bill and it vanished in the air. Set out running, but it'll take my time. The friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I came home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Got two reasons why I cry away, it's a lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne Marie, and she's my heart's delight. Second one is prison, baby, sheriff's on my trail. If he catches up to me, spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, got one in Cherokee. First one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but it'll take my time. The friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I come home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Take it! Lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne Marie, and she's my heart's delight. Second one is prison, baby, sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up to me, spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, I got one in Cherokee. First one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but it'll take my time. The friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Take us home. All right. A lot more string beings to come. Stick with us. We're going to take a little break. Thank you very much for coming out.
Hey, folks.
All right, welcome back to the Pittsburgh Roadhouse on the Tokyo Rosenthal program. Wow, they really like us here. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our sponsor. We actually have a sponsor, and I think that's very cool. You know, the Music Loft of Carrboro, North Carolina. And I got to tell you, this is the best music store in the Triangle, bar none. Amazing collection of new, used, and vintage guitars, mandolins, banjos, keyboards, and drums, and a great selection of gear to keep your instruments running well. Need a lesson? You all need a lesson, right? Need a lot of things, but besides that, you need a music lesson. Check in with them because the finest pickers around are teachers there. Finally, mention the Tokyo Rosenthal program, and they'll give you a free gift. Just walk on in, say, Tokyo Rosenthal sent me, and who knows what they'll give you, but it says a free gift, and I'm just going to read what I'm paid to write. Once again, they're located at 116 West Main Street in Carrboro. Google the Music Loft Carrboro for more info. Those of you listening out of the area or out of the country, get in your car, take a plane, start a caravan, but get to the Music Loft, open 7 days a week. Also, you can check out this show, for those of you listening, streaming, and everything, on all of our affiliates. You can also find this show on YouTube, thanks to Jeff Phillips from In Focus Studios. In Focus Studios specializes in promotional videos for company websites, video depositions, and college recruiting videos for high school athletes. Go to www.infocusstudios.com or call Jeff at 919-533-9650. That's 919-533-9650, and tell him Tokyo sent you, and he'll take good care of you. In Focus Studios, they always ask, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, how much is a moving picture worth? How about that, okay? www.infocusstudios.com. All right. Now, I don't know about you all, but I'm very excited about our guest tonight. We actually met on a thing called Reverb Nation. For those of you not in the know, Reverb Nation is kind of like a dating service for musicians. You know, you put ads there for people you need to go on tour. Wanted, good country guitar player, must be able to play blues, must have good GPS skills, good rolling paper skills, you know, whatever you need from the guys and different people. And we swap music, among other things. And Jan found me on Reverb Nation, and I listened to their music tonight, and I said, wow, I have to have these people on the Tokyo Rosenthal program. And then I also have to pay for their talents. They get applause just before they even play the first note. Get them to sit in with me, too, and just a really great bunch of people. Ladies and gentlemen, on our stage, the String Beings.
All right, thank you, Tokyo. It was great to be here. We really appreciate you letting us join you tonight. And thanks to the Pittsburgh Roadhouse for giving us a roof over our heads. Let's get started. All right. He rode all the way to Texas on an old freight train. He didn't miss the girl he left behind. He rode all the way to Texas. He didn't shed a tear. He's letting you know he's the moving kind. A light shines from my window. I just can't sleep no more. Oh Lord, it hurts so much to be alone. But the real men never do admit that it's them that might be wrong. At least that's what he told me in his song. And he rode all the way to Texas on an old freight train. Didn't miss the girl he left behind. He rode all the way to Texas. He didn't shed a tear. He's letting you know he's the moving kind. freedom that he sings about, well, I guess I'll never know. I just can't beat the guilt or kill the pain. But it helps to ride when the lights down low. I get on board the radio, take a ride out to Texas on his train. And he rode all the way to Texas on an old freight train. He didn't miss the girl he left behind. He rode all the way to Texas. He didn't shed a tear. He's letting you know he's the moving kind. Yes, he's letting you know he's the moving kind.
Thanks, everybody. That song was off of an album of songs that are done by various artists. Jim, who produced that album?
That was Mark Newton.
Mark Newton. Look that up. We'll do another song from that one a little bit later tonight. But what we're going to do next is a song that I wrote. We're going to do one that each one of us wrote. This one is the first one, and I wrote this one. It's about a guy who just can't seem to hang on to his women. Drinking with friends when she called me last night. I said, come on out, girl, we don't have to fight. The whiskey's a-flowing and the beer tastes just right, and old Lester Fricks plays that music so tight. Try as I might, I can't walk a tight line. I'm just a man who enjoys a good time. I like drinking and dancing and living life high. That's why women all tell me goodbye. When I rolled in this morning, my baby was gone. I thought on it hard, don't know what I did wrong. I said that drinking and dancing won't last very long. But when I rolled in this morning, my baby was gone. Try as I might, I can't walk a tight line. I'm just a man who enjoys a good time. I like drinking and dancing and living life high. That's why women all tell me goodbye. So, Mr. Bartender, can you help me today? Another good woman has wandered away. Where else would I go when I'm feeling this way? It's gonna take a whiskey, a whole lot of whiskey, chase these blues away. Hey, try as I might, I can't walk a tight line. I'm just a man who enjoys a good time. I like drinking and dancing and living life high. That's why women all tell me goodbye. Try as I might, I can't walk a tight line. I'm just a man who enjoys a good time. I like drinking and dancing and living life high. That's why women all tell me goodbye. That's why women all tell me goodbye. I think I'll go out and get high. Hey! All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate that so much. All right, this next song is written right here by this man on the mandolin to my far right, Mr. Jim Pritchard, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, folks.
And I have to insert myself a little bit. I was bothering one of our guests tonight in the audience, Donna. I was pointing at, and you kept wondering, who was I looking at? I was looking at you. This title of this song is Haskins Glen. We're going to dedicate this song to you tonight as you are the Haskins in the crowd. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Although once you hear the song, you might say, I'm not sure if I want this one dedicated unto me. But largely a song from my childhood. You get to pick out which elements of it are true, which ones are fabricated, but that's fine. Ready?
Yeah.
Me and Boots and Skinny Sam were once the best of friends. Now the gray hair sits upon our heads. Our lives were nothing special, but then each of us recalls the one big great adventure that we led. Each week we got together and we plotted and we planned, being careful that we not let out a word. Our heist would have been over then before it had began, if we slipped up and anybody heard. We hit town in that old clunker that my uncle had out back, though none of us was old enough to drive. With slick determination and with caution to the wind, it's a wonder that we made it back alive. They didn't hear us coming and nobody knew a thing. We got in, got out, and got on the road again. We split up and got together at our favorite hideaway, the old piney woods behind old Haskins Glen. Now for 60 years we pulled the wool over everybody's eyes. It's a wonder that nobody went to jail. Pulling around the money and we're telling big fat lies. It's a wonder that we had it by the tail. Well, now old Boots is gone and Skinny Sam just gave a call to ask if we could meet at Haskins Glen. Just one more time for old time's sake and just to show them all, we'll get in, get out, and get on the road again. Well, me and Boots and Skinny Sam were once the best of friends. Now our lives are coming to an end. Boots is gone and all we got is faded memories, and we know we owe it all to Haskins Glen. And our grandkids got a lot of dough to spend. Thanks, boy.
Jim Pritchard, everybody. All right, Big Jim.
Thank you. Hey, that was terrific, guys. Hey, Glenn, how you doing?
I'm good, Tokyo. How you tonight?
Well, I'm hanging in there
Yeah.
and being greatly entertained and backed up at the same time.
Yeah.
Why don't we start off by you telling me everybody in the group?
Absolutely. As I've mentioned earlier, on the far right, my far right, your left is Jim Pritchard on the mandolin. Big
Thanks,
Jim.
folks.
Right here in the middle, playing our upright bass, is Miss Jan Pulley. All right, Jan. And my name is Glenn Stewart. Thanks, everybody.
You got that all right. Okay, you passed the first
Yeah,
test.
I
You knew everybody's name in the group.
I had to write it down and work on it.
All right, so we talked a little bit earlier, and you're about to go into the studio for the first time and make the first string beans record. Now, by the way, I'm not saying string beans. For those of you, they don't come in a can. They don't come frozen or freeze-dried. It's string beans. And you can find them, of course, by that name. Google that name, and you'll see them all over the place. So you're going to go in and do the first record. And tell me a little bit about that in terms of what you're expecting to get out of it and what kind of material is going to be on it.
Yeah, so we're writing right now. We've been writing a little bit. We've all written for a while, and so we're starting to get together a collection of songs. We're targeting 12 songs for this, and what we want to do is just go into a studio and get a high-quality thing so that we can put it on Reverb Nation or wherever else, maybe YouTube a little bit, and see if we can't get back here on your show.
Oh, always on my show. I mean, we'll have you here every week, especially if you back me up on the numbers. So I'm listening to the harmonies, which are just incredible, as well as the mandolin, bass, and guitar. Who were the influences, and were they different for all three of you?
Yeah, well, there's one of my personal great influences, of course, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and I'll throw Young in there too. One of my top 5 albums of all times is Deja Vu, and there are some sweet harmonies on there. Jim, what kind of inspired you on harmonies?
Mine was mostly growing up, coming up with the Beatles and the Eagles, and just appreciating very good harmonies there.
Jan?
I would have to say it would have to be an obsessive compulsive disorder in the car with my father.
Well, what kind of music was your daddy listening to?
Well, he was fond of the radio in the car. Yes, he was.
Just
He
the
was-
radio,
yeah, he
period.
really
Anything that was
not
on.
particular, but
Kingston
actually,
Trio is also high on the list. Remember the Kingston
What if
Trio?
it was a
Who remembers
ball game
Kingston
or
Trio?
something? How did you?
We would have breaks from time to time.
Well, all right. I have to let the audience at home know, as the people in the studio, this is not a studio, in the Roadhouse audience already know that we had an interruption between song 1 and song 2. We had a medical emergency in the house. The ambulance was here. The gentleman seems to be okay, but was taken away. And so we actually paused the show, picked up with song number 2, and you could tell the consummate professionals that the string beings are, that they were able to pick it up without missing a beat. And also to our audience. So give yourselves a round of applause for hanging out here. And you got a few more songs for us? You'll come back and play?
Absolutely.
All right, they'll be back in a minute. Stay with us. All right, back here at the Pittsburgh Roadhouse with a very enthusiastic audience, I might add. Want to let you know that all guests on the Tokyo Rosenthal program receive a gift certificate to the Music Loft in Carrboro, North Carolina. That's worth the trip here alone, isn't it?
Yes,
Right?
it is.
That's pretty good. Can't say enough good things about the folks there who make you feel at home the second you walk in the door, no matter how young or old, whether you're an expert or a beginner, high budget or starter budget. This is the store for you. And again, visit the store and mention the Tokyo Rosenthal program and get a free gift. That's not a bad deal. And so they're at 116 West Main Street, the Music Loft of Carrboro, North Carolina, open 7 days a week. Once again, the String Beings.
All right, thank you, Tokyo. This is a nice, soft song, a beautiful love song that's about memories and regret that Miss Jan Pulley wrote for us.
My goodness. Thought I'd make a trifle. Berries, red and blue. Memories keep on flooding. How I trifle with you. We were young and innocent in that school of blue and white. You were close and wanted closer. I was told it wasn't right. You were light, but I was lighter. Different hues and shades of brown. You wanted more than anything not to ever see me down. At every turn I pushed you, million miles from me. Then I'd crook my little finger, back at my side you would be. If lonely were a color, I'd have to name it gray. I would give up all these colors just to have you here today. Thought I'd paint my toenails a berry shade of pink, a teenaged type diversion, so I wouldn't have to think. The evening's cool and lovely with all the reds and greens of spring, but I'm lost inside your memory, and the color blue tonight will bring. If lonely were a color, I'd have to name it gray. I would give up all these colors just to have you here today. I would give up all these colors just to have you here today.
Thank you, Jan. That was very pretty. That was really nice. All right, so this next song, I think this might be our last one. We're going to get back to that that album that we did that first one from. This is a beautiful song called "A Child Again" off that album. It's just a bunch of songs that have been traditionally done by a bunch of artists. Let's see. Hold on, let me get ready. I got to put the capo on, take the capo off, put it on, take it off. All right, I'm ready.
Oh, good. That's quick.
Back in the hills of Southwest Virginia, as a boy I did play in what seemed endless days. There I found love with a sweet mountain woman. I look at her smile and I felt like a child again, born of love. A new flower blooms where the old flower was. There is no end, it only begins. Born of love, a child again. old church with an old country preacher. I found my faith and my soul was saved. So when God calls me home, I'll cross that wide river. I'll walk on the shore, a child once more, a child again, born of love. There's a new flower blooms where the old flower was. There is no end, it only begins. Born of love, a child again. Born of love, a child again.
Thanks, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, string beans.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much.
You know, I like how we... Don't knock my poster over. You see, for those of you watching at home, Glenn is like destroying my poster here. It cost a lot of, that's the whole budget of the show is the poster.
It's such a fine poster, too.
It is a good poster. That's me and my horse Mescalito with my guitar in the back and everything. Anyway, I loved how much you guys played on Friend of the Devil with me. You think we could do another duet when we come back from selling a few things?
Well, what do you think? Yeah? You want to? Yeah. Let's
All right. How about you folks out there? You want to hear another one? How about you folks at home? Hold up your hands to the... Put your hand on the radio and tell us you want another song. Okay. We'll be right back. And little duet going on. Okay, great. All right, back at the Pittsboro Roadhouse. And we're going to try doing something together here one more time. You know, Glenn, you had mentioned Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu being your best album of all time.
That is an amazing album. Yeah.
We're going to try a song off of that record. One that was really recorded solo without the rest of the band, actually. But it's on that album, and it's a song written by Stephen Stills called 4 and 20. All right. Here's our version of it. Years ago, come into this life, song of a woman and a man who lived in strife. He was tired of being poor, wasn't into selling door to door, worked like a devil to keep warm.
A different kind of poverty now upsets me so. Night after sleepless night, I walk the floor and I want to know why am I so alone? Where is my woman? Can I bring her home? Have I driven her away? Is she gone? Morning comes the sunrise and I'm driven to my bed. I see that it is empty and there's devils in my head. I embrace the many-colored beast. I grow weary of the torment. Can there be no peace? And I find myself just wishing that my life would simply cease.
20 years ago, come into this life. Song of a woman and a man who lived in strife. He was tired of being poor, and he wasn't into selling door to door. And he worked like a devil to keep warm.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. The String Beings.
Hi, Mom.
Next week, the Milagro Saints will be here. Come on out for that. We'd like to thank everybody at the Roadhouse, Greg and Nora, Gio DeSocio, our sound man, Jeff Phillips, the videographer, the Music Loft, Anthony Wellman, and all of our affiliates. Good night, Carrie. I'm coming home.